everyone, Jasper here from the Garden, back to a new Kingdom Hearts video, and for us still waiting of any new information, news drops on Kingdom Hearts 4, and for our hype for Kingdom Hearts 4, we are going to be doing what I've done with the Crash and Spyro series, and that is the reviews. Yes, reviewing each of the games from its series. We're going to be doing the same with Kingdom Hearts. It was a matter of time, I can say. It was a matter of time, but I have finally got around to it. And of course, with people, to this day, not just years ago, but people still requesting Square Enix to make a Kingdom Hearts 1 remake. Like, a remake of the first Kingdom Hearts game. People are still asking about that for a Kingdom Hearts 1 remake. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin with, of course, well, I mean, Birth by Sleep is technically Kingdom Hearts 1, right? Because it's a prequel. It's the prequel to Kingdom Hearts, right? Technically, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, I guess you can consider, is Kingdom Hearts 1. Because it's before Sora and Riku, right? Before the first game, the proper first game with Sora and them. But in the ones in order, technically, we are going. So, going with the first Kingdom Hearts game. Again, I guess you could consider Birth by Sleep, like I said, but again, Kingdom Hearts 1, we are going to be going with. So, without further ado, let's start, shall we? We got a long journey ahead of us, and an exciting journey, too. So, Kingdom Hearts 1 is, I don't know what you could probably say, of people's favorite. People could say that they love the first Kingdom Hearts. Some people could say that they don't like the first Kingdom Hearts. I mean, yeah, probably isn't one of the bestest in the franchise once you played, like, Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3 or Dream Drop Distance, right? Like the later games. But still, it's definitely up there of some of the good ones, right? I mean, I love the first Kingdom Hearts games. It was definitely the first Kingdom Hearts game. It was definitely a good introduction to the franchise. Oh, and of course, this month, the end of this month, I think on the 28th, it will be Kingdom Hearts' 21st anniversary. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts will be 21 years old. So, the 21st anniversary is by the end of this month. How crazy is that? That Kingdom Hearts will be, and especially the 21 years since the first game came out, the one we're reviewing now. And since the start of the franchise as well. So it starts, of course, very typical of the opening. I guess you could say with the opening. And where Sora is, of course, just falling. I mean, I guess I could put the opening cinematic, right? Where Sora's like, I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not? None of this makes sense to me. And then, of course, the copyright music, which even though it's copyright music, I love to listen to it, like, through my phone. I like to listen through it through my phone. And the ending music, too. The credits music for Kingdom Hearts 1, I especially love, too. The Sanctuary and... Oh, what is the other one called? I know one of them's Sanctuary, and what is the other one? I can't remember, but you know, those two songs. For the opening and ending songs. But I love those, the ending and opening songs. And we have Sora himself, which is, of course, the main character. Sora and his friends, Kairi and Riku, which are on an island, Destiny Islands, and been friends for many years on Destiny Islands, growing up on there. And Sora on the Station of Awakening when you actually properly take control of Sora. Which, again, I love the Station of Awakening. And of course, it's your basic tutorials. And where you first interact with Heartless, the main enemies that you'll encounter. And of course, bigger Heartless like Darkseid. And then, again, after that, of course, you do basic quest for Kairi, right? Basic quest for Kairi, and, of course, Kingdom Hearts also has Final Fantasy characters as well. Also introduced Final Fantasy characters. So, you can interact with some of the Final Fantasy characters on Destiny Islands and later on as well. And they're wanting to build a raft. Kairi, Sora, and Riku want to explore the outside world. See more land, more worlds. Explore more worlds besides their own. And meanwhile, we see Donald in Disney Castle. And he's going to King Mickey. But King Mickey is not there. And after he gets a note, a message from Pluto that was from Mickey, he goes to Goofy. And on here, Goofy is the royal guard of the kingdom, and Donald is the wizard of magicianry. And yeah, Sora eventually comes across this robed man in robe, which again will come back later on as well, talking about how about the door to this world, and Sora trying to prove to it that he will learn what's out there in the outside world. And we see the message. We actually do get to see the message that Mickey actually left for Donald. And yeah, Queen Minnie and Daisy are wondering what could this mean, and Donald tells them that they'll find the king and the key, because King Mickey advised that Goofy and Donald go to look for a boy that has a key, and the stars have been blinking out, and he needs to go. Donald and Goofy need to search for the wielder of the key for their survival, or they'll all be doomed. And of course, King Mickey had to go and sort out the damage, or go and look at the damage, which Donald tells Queen Minnie and Daisy that they'll find the key, and they'll find Mickey. They'll find the King Mickey. And for on their travels, we have Jiminy Cricket. Yep, Jiminy Cricket is on our travels, which of course on Jiminy's journal as well. That will be putting entries in journals for, of course, percentage. And Sora eventually goes is in his room, in his bedroom, and sees a storm. And then we hear Sora's mom. The only time in the franchise, by far, in all the Kingdom Hearts games, we only hear Sora's mom once. And that's when Sora's mom tells Sora that his dinner's ready and to come on down. And that's it. After we hear from Sora's mom, we don't hear from her again. And meanwhile, Sora goes to Riku, and Kairi's not there. But Riku says that the door has opened to the outside world, and he's not afraid of the darkness. And once they step through, they may never come back, and they may never see their parents again. And Sora gets the Keyblade. Gets the power of the Keyblade, your main weapon, which throughout all the worlds, which we'll be going to in a second, they getting different kinds of Keyblades. And Sora eventually finds Kairi, where he saw the hooded man and Kairi gets disappeared. And Sora eventually gets banished to, or gets stranded in a new world when when Donald, Goofy, and Pluto head to Traverse Town, where they'll have to find Leon to point them in the right direction. And Sora ends himself in another world outside of his island, and ends up having to fight against Leon after interacting or finding the Heartless in Traverse Town 2, and Donald and Goofy trying to search for, of course, Leon, or in this case, of course, Sora, because they're technically looking for Sora, not exactly Leon, because Leon's supposed to point them to the right direction, but they're technically looking for Sora, because he's got the Keyblade. And we see Yuffie, another Final Fantasy character, and meanwhile, Riku awakes in this waterfall world, which is, of course, Hollow Bastion. Which, that's what the world's called, Hollow Bastion. He awakes in Hollow Bastion, looking for Kairi and Sora, where they ended up. And Donald and Goofy interact with, say, another Final Fantasy character. And Leon and Yuffie tell Sora about the Keyblade and how the Heartless fear the Keyblade. And they tell him if they have ever heard of a guy named Ansem, which he was studying the Heartless. He was a studier of the Heartless, but most of his research were scattered to different worlds when the Heartless came. And eventually, Donald and Goofy and Sora first interact with each other. After defeating Guard Armor, they decide to team up. We get the three half-pipes, Donald, Sora, and Goofy. And they go out to different Disney worlds in order to try to find the clue of where King Mickey is, and of course for Sora to find for Riku and Kairi. And of course we see the Disney villains, Maleficent, Captain Hook, Oogie Boogie, Ursula, Hades, Jafar, we see, talking about how Sora will be in great use to them. And again, now we go to the Disney worlds. Yes, Kingdom Hearts introduces Disney worlds that you go to and help out the Disney characters. And after every Disney world, you interact with either a Heartless or a boss, or a Heartless or one of the main villains from that franchise. Like in Alice in Wonderland, you defeat a Heartless called Trickmaster. And then we go to Hercules, which is more of a minigame arena. Yeah, it's more of a minigame arena where you do time trials and stuff, and of course interact with Hades. And there's different cups you can do the more you progress. And of course Cloud, which you have to fight, and also is another Final Fantasy character. And the main boss of course, the story, which, yeah, there's more bosses in Hercules' world as well, Olympus, like Sephiroth. Yeah, Sephiroth, Hades himself, and Rock Titan and Ice Titan are some bosses and cups, in different cups. But of course, that's outside the story. But those bosses too. And after you, of course, defeat Cerberus, the main boss, we go to Tarzan, which is the only time we see Tarzan in Kingdom Hearts, because, of course, Tarzan is not Disney property. I'm not sure exactly when it was not Disney property, but they were only able to use Tarzan for only one reason, or only one game, because of copyright. So, wrong way. So, Tarzan's world, of course, has Clayton, which I never really see Tarzan, but Clayton you have to fight. And meanwhile, after you revisit Traverse Town, you go revisit Traverse Town for Sid, also is another Final Fantasy character. Sid, which will offer, or to help you put new gummy pieces that you find onto your gummy sip. Which, again, the gummy sip is how you go across different Disney worlds as well. Into different worlds. And after delivering a book to Merlin and saying Fairy Godmother, and that so-called book that you deliver is Winnie the Pooh's book, which, yes, it is another minigame world. But the pages are scattered throughout different worlds, which you have to find. And of course, great rewards will lead to sealing the keyhole, which, yes, every world that you go to, you must seal a keyhole in order to complete that world and to progress to other worlds. Because the Disney villains, like Maleficent and them, are looking for the keyholes. And, of course, the Disney princesses. And, meanwhile, Maleficent, of course, tricking Riku to think that after interacting with Riku, of course, actually finding Riku, Sora finding Riku, he then disappears. And Maleficent then tricks, of course, Riku, thinking that Sora has replaced him with Donald and Goofy, and saying that Riku does not belong to be friends with Sora, of course just tricking him. And Maleficent will help Riku what he's searching for, which of course is Kairi. And we go to Aladdin, where we see Aladdin, Genie, Iago, Abu, Princess Jasmine, and of course Jafar, which of course Jafar has two phases, his regular form and his genie form. And then after you go to Aladdin, you go to Monstro, of course. You go to Monstro, and of course Geppetto and Pinocchio, which you do interact with Pinocchio and Traverse Town, but you go to Monstro, which you help Geppetto get Pinocchio back after Riku, of course, takes him. And you defeat this Heartless in this world. And Maleficent grants Riku the power of the Heartless, to control the Heartless. And he wants to get Kairi's heart back. That was taken from the Heartless, or taken by the Heartless. And he would do whatever he takes to get Kairi's heart back. And then we go to Ariel, or Atlantica. We go to the Little Mermaid's world, where of course we see Flounder, Sebastian, Ariel, King Trident, and of course the eels with Maleficent, or with Ursula as well. With RP, of course, to Ursula. Ursula's voice actor, and of course Iago's voice actor. And again, similar to Jafar, Maleficent has two phases. One in her lair, and another one where she's giant, and you have to get back King Neptune's trident. And of course, like I mentioned before, each Disney World, you get offered, and different bosses as well. Different bosses and different challenges, you will be rewarded a Keyblade. A different Keyblade that is similar looking to that Disney World. Like in Atlantica, you get a crab keyblade, a crab-looking keyblade, and from Geppetto, you get a clock-looking keyblade. From Aladdin, you get a lamp-looking keyblade, and of course, so on and so forth. Y'all can, that certain Disney World theme is the theme of the keyblade. And after Atlantica, we go to Halloween Town, aka the Nightmare Before Christmas, with Jack Skellington. And of course, 2 bosses, or 3 bosses technically, in this one. Lock, Sock, Jock, and Barrel that you face, and you face Oogie Boogie. 2 phases of Oogie Boogie. One phase, just his normal form in this torture chamber, and then the last phase where he's all giant. And then we go to Peter Pan, or Neverland. And of course we see Tank, Wendy, and Peter Pan. And of course Smee and Captain Hook, where of course we fight Captain Hook. And of course TikTok Croc is there too. And then eventually, after having this vision with Kyrie that and Sora, he then sees that feels like Kyrie actually called Sora in Traverse Town, and they head to Hollow Bastion. Which, at Hollow Bastion, we see Beast and Riku. Which Beast is just wanting Belle back, and Riku is of course, being possessed by the Heartless, tries to stop him. Of course, he tries obviously to stop him, and of course he just wants Belle. And of course, Riku is the actually one with the Keyblade, wielder of the Keyblade, because he then takes the Keyblade, and it turns out that Riku's the worthy Keyblade wielder, and not Sora. And Donald and Goofy leave Sora behind. So now you're on your own. Your friends have betrayed you. And now you're left with a wooden sword, like at the start of the game on Destiny Islands, before you get the Keyblade. And with Beast. But it doesn't take long until after, once you do get the Keyblade back. And then you have to fight Riku. With this speech, and Donald and Goofy come back, and he doesn't sing of how he doesn't need a weapon, and his friends are his power, because they made him stronger with his friends give him his strengths. And the Keyblade disappears from Riku and returns to Sora. And Riku is saying that it's not fair, that of how it just wasn't fair, because the Keyblade was his, he had it. And then that same guy in the robe, comes back, and, of course, possesses Riku, for Riku of accepting the darkness in his heart. And, of course, all the Princesses of Heart have been collected, except, apparently, Kyrie, which, without her heart, she will not be able to attain the power that Maleficent needs to conquer all worlds by using the keyholes, or to reveal the giant keyhole. And then we, of course, have Maleficent's boss fight. Yup, she also has 2 boss fights. One in her normal form, And then 2, after Reiko stabs her in the chest, opening her heart to the darkness with his keyblade. But that will unlock hearts. That unlocks people's hearts. And of course he transforms to her dragon form. And then after defeating Maleficent, you then have to fight Reiko again. But this time, Ansem Reiko. Because Reiko then announces himself as Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Because, well, that is not Reiko. Ansem has possessed Reiko. And now you're having to fight Ansem in Reiko's body that is trying to take Sora, or Kairi's heart that has apparently been in Sora all alone. Yeah. Kairi's heart has been in Sora's heart all alone. And of course he wants Kairi's heart. And then after defeating Sora, Reiko, God's sake, if I can speak. Apologize. But after defeating Ansem Reiko, the keyhole is not finished yet. So Sora actually sacrifices himself and stabs himself in the chest with Reiko's keyblade, releasing the hearts of the princesses in a very emotional scene. Like, for real. This scene is just so emotional, no matter how many times you watch it or see it. It's so emotional. Donald and Kairi just calling out to Sora, just while he's just disappearing away. Sora just vanishes after saving Kairi and the princesses and just falling into darkness. And then we see Ansem. Ansem reveals his true look and has said that the keyhole is now complete and the Princesses of Heart and Kairi has served their purpose. And Reiko actually stops Ansem from hurting his friends and tell him to run because the Heartless are coming. So they're having to get out of there. And Sora actually comes back as a Heartless. Yeah. Sora turns into a Heartless, which you have a brief moment where you actually get to play as Sora as a Heartless. And of course, Sora turning into a Heartless is important, especially in Kingdom Hearts 2, because it actually shows what happened when Sora got turned into a Heartless. And Kairi and the gang realize that it's Sora, and she protects Sora, and she brings back Sora by calling out his name. Which they leave Hollow Bastion, and Leon tells them that the darkness must be flowing from that giant keyhole, because, again, they didn't get to seal the keyhole, which, well, Sora was a Heartless, so, of course, he couldn't even use the Keyblade, so they're having to go back to Hollow Bastion and seal that big keyhole. And, of course, saving Reiko. The only one to save is Reiko, which Leon does say that if anyone can save Reiko, it is Sora. And then we see, after talking with Kairi, she gives us her lucky charm, and how, of course, how Sora actually came back, of how he heard her name, or how he heard her call out Sora's name, and that's how Sora was brought back. And of course, they realize that their hearts are connected, and that it is time for them to get Reiko back. To get Reiko back from the darkness. And of course, Kairi not being able to come. So Kairi stayed behind, and she promised him, she tells him no matter where he goes, she'll always be with him. And then we see Reiko just all hurting, just in the darkness, just suffering in the darkness, all scared, just begging for mercy to not yet, just saying not yet, and in the afterlife looking area. And apparently Mickey, of course, talking. Of course, we only see text, but it's actually Mickey, King Mickey, that actually is talking to Riku, saying that there's another Keyblade. There's a Keyblade in the realm of darkness that needs to be the key to seal the door to darkness of Kingdom Hearts. And King Mickey is searching of that Keyblade, and he needs Riku's help. So he calls for Riku to help him, and he'll be there shortly. And before sealing the keyhole in Hollow Bastion, we learned that after restoring the world back to normal, and all the worlds get restored, everybody will go back to where they belong, meaning the gummy ship will be pointless of traveling back to visit Leon and the gang, which they wish them one farewell and good luck if they don't get to see Sora again. And after sealing the keyhole, the final keyhole, we head to the end of the world. The final world in the first Kingdom Hearts game. And the end of the world is apparently all the worlds that was taken by the Heartless. Which, of course, if beating Ansem, those worlds will be restored once beating Ansem. And then we have, of course, different Heartless segments. And my personal favorite parts, getting to revisit all the Disney worlds while having to fight Heartless, while leading to the demon itself, Disney's version of the devil, of Satan himself, Cherubog, or you know how he's pronounced. We have to fight him, and we get Super Glide, of course, different abilities that you get as well. And after beating a horrible room of Heartless, which y'all know which room I'm talking about, you go through a door that leads back to Destiny Islands. But something's not right with Destiny Islands. You hear the same quotes. You then hear the same quotes from Ansem that he told Sora. That he did tell Sora about this world is connected, tied to the darkness. So let's learn, right? You know which one I'm talking about. Trying to, of course, get on that to it. Trying to find it there. But I mean, I love this detail. Going back to Destiny Islands is just so amazing.
This world has been connected. What was that? Tied to the darkness. Soon to be completely eclipsed. There is so very much to learn. You understand so little. A meaningless effort. One who knows nothing can understand nothing.
And then, of course, having to fight the final boss of the game, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Which, again, I prefer the voice actor that did Ansem in the first game. I mean, I'm not saying I hate the voices in the current games after the first game, but it's just something about the first voice actor of Ansem that just made it so really cool. And of course, there's multiple phases to Ansem as well. Multiple more phases instead of 2. First, of course, we have Ansem and the Guardian, which, this is actually something I wonder. You know, in Kingdom Hearts 3, right? In Kingdom Hearts 3, the Guardian of Terranort is actually Terra. So I actually wonder, since Ansem has a Guardian, if that was actually, well, on the first game, of course, at least, the Guardian was actually Riku, right? Being held in the darkness. That's what I'm thinking. And again, we have multiple phases that we have to do. First phase, of course, with Ansem. Second phase, we have to do Dark Side and then Ansem again. And then 20 Souls of Kingdom Hearts. And Darkness Conquers All Worlds. And Ansem has transformed into a sip. Where they have even more phases. And of course, Donald and Goofy get swept into different areas. And of course, there's certain areas of the SIP that you have to destroy and save Donald and Goofy. And once you do, Ansem summons Kingdom Hearts to fill him with the power of darkness. But Sora tells him wrong. The Kingdom Hearts is actually light. And a big burst of light showers on Ansem and pretty much defeating Ansem. Which now they're having to close Kingdom Hearts. And, of course, the other side, which has the Heartless. And then Riku is on the other side, telling Sora that together they can do it. And Mickey comes. We see King Mickey with the Dark Realms Keyblade. And telling them to close the door. And thanking Donald and Goofy. And Riku telling Sora to take care of Kairi. While the door closes. While Riku stays in the Heartless side. And Sora and Donald and Goofy are on the safe side. And of course, once they seal the door, we see some memories of Riku. While Sora sees Kairi. And the worlds get restored. All the worlds are getting restored. While Kairi is restored back to Destiny Islands. And then the secret ending. The ending. Secret ending. I mean, technically, there's another secret ending, too. If you collect all of the Dalmatians, which, yeah, you'd get to collect all the most of the Dalmatians as well. 99 Dalmatians. And, of course, complete most of the things in Jiminy's Journal, you'll get a preview of one scene in Kingdom Hearts 2. Or I guess you could say the numbers 1, too. But we see Donald, Goofy, and Sora continuing their quest to try to locate Riku and King Mickey. But they're trying to figure out where they can find that door to the light. And they come across Pluto with another message. And when they ask about King Mickey, he starts running towards the direction which they follow him. And we end it with it saying, "Remember, Sora, you are the one who will open the door to the light." And that concludes the first Kingdom Hearts. Because the story continues in Chain of Memories. Which will be the next one. Chain of Memories. Even though it's kind of weird. Chain of Memories is technically Kingdom Hearts 2. But after Kingdom Hearts 2... and I guess the Days as well. Yeah, Days as well. We have Kingdom Hearts 2. Which we'll definitely be getting to. But yeah. To start, we have completed the first one on this review series. Like I said, this was definitely a long time wait, I can say. Sorry. But definitely have gotten to the reviewing of the Kingdom Hearts series, especially for the hype on Kingdom Hearts 4, which I am very excited to see of how this series goes. And of course, if you are wondering, I am technically going to be reviewing only the games that I've managed to play. So, Dark Road and the Union Cross, I'm not being able to review because I never really properly played those games. So, just to let y'all know, those won't count. I guess you could say recoded in the days as well, because those were just cutscenes on the PlayStation or console versions. But at least I did interact with them, so, and know them briefly, so I will cover those. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications turned on so you miss anything new. Let me know what you think. Catch you on the next one.